What's the good word, Josh? Your boy DKB here. So just kind of retouching base on the Zach Wilson situation and kind of some of the current rumors and reports flying around out there. So we know Zach Wilson's been trashed a lot during the offseason, right? You had Woody Johnson saying we never had a backup quarterback at all in New York last year. And so, if those are his sentiments, him being the owner, I would imagine that means there's no reality where you're bringing anybody back from last year that's not named Aaron Rodgers from that quarterback room. So with that said, obviously you're looking at either a trade or release situation here. A release would be a terrible route to go for the New York Jets. You don't save any money whatsoever. You're going to have to take a dead cap hit for Zach Wilson. I think the floor for that is $5.4 million because that's what you save in a trade situation, somewhere around that general number. And then overall, you just get back to the fact that once again, the New York Jets have destroyed a first-round draft pick. Right now, in this case, you can say Zach Wilson kind of flamed himself out a bit as well. You compare situations like what Mark Sanchez and Geno Smith had when they came in. Heck, even to Chad Pennington, even though he was a disastrous pick himself, Zach Wilson obviously had the best situation, even for a coaching staff that was brand new, everybody kind of filling in for new positions. When Mike LaFleur was here, and then of course transitioning into last year, it just seems like anybody off the street came into that organization and said, hey, I can run the offense for you with all the finger pointing and ignorance it seems like that we had going on that side of the ball. But ultimately, if the Jets want to pull off a trade, it seems like we're going to have to either eat some or all of the contract to facilitate a trade. Or in another report I've seen, a lot of people kind of think that the Jets may even have to throw in a conditional 6th or 7th round pick in order to pull a trade situation off. And if we have to throw in that, even if it is tied to conditions, I would question what the return is, right? Are we getting a 5th? Are we getting a 4th? I can't imagine you getting anything higher than a 3rd round pick for a guy like Zach Wilson. But let's go off of the idea that you do throw in a conditional 7th round pick. You don't have to eat any of his 4th year contract. You don't have to worry about that 5th year option nonsense, right? And that's a lot of the concern for the new team, right? Not only am I going to have to pick up a pretty substantial contract for a former number 2 overall pick, but then I also have to figure out if I want to extend him. What's an extension going to look like if he does kind of work out into our plans the whole 9? If you're offering a conditional 7th round pick, I imagine it's going to be stipulated or tied to something like playing time, right? Can he get on the field for at least 20% of the plays, or more common situation like making the roster past a certain date, right? Let's say the start of the season, something like that for Zach Wilson. As long as he's a rosterable player, we'll give that new team the 7th round pick. It is what it is. He's got to find his way off this team, but it behooves the Jets to try to figure out however they can get a trade done, right? As long as you're not taking a dead cap hit for a guy like Zach Wilson, that's technically a win. Do you want to lose out and not get any kind of picks whatsoever? Absolutely not. But if you can get even a small cap saving, $3 to $4 million for a guy like Zach Wilson, as opposed to the full 5.4 or million or so number that's out there, it's going to be a win for a guy that you ultimately have confirmed at this point in time. It's no longer going to be part of your future for the franchise. And by the way, if you guys want to kind of read into it a little bit more, the report for the late round draft pick compensation that may need to be tied into the conversations came from Andy Vasquez from New York Advanced Media. But ultimately, again, it's just a sad situation, one that sucks for the New York Jets to be in. It would be interesting if we can get a day 3 selection for Zach Wilson this year, considering a lot of the rumors that are out there that the New York Jets want to make sure they can get themselves a developmental quarterback this year. It may look like it's coming via priority undrafted free agency, but I think it does behoove them to go out there and take a look at some of these names that they've already visited with, primarily Davius Richard out of North Carolina Central, and then Keaton Slovis out of BYU. Davius Richard being my favorite. I covered this in the pre-draft meeting video that I dropped. But ultimately, let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people would say go out there and find yourself an early day 4 selection. People are hoping a guy like Spencer Rattler may be there. There's another name that's floating out there that I just had that's escaping me. Nonetheless, though, you guys get the idea. We need to have a rookie in that quarterback room so that we can have somebody developing in some faster, right? Whether it's going to be a long-term backup option for us or a guy that maybe can pull off a Brock Purdy, Tom Brady type situation. It doesn't have to be to that status, but a guy that can show he can be a starter in the league for us. I think that would be an ultimate win-win. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you again. Peace.